So this is a follow-up to my last video. Yeah, this is Founders Fund. It's Peter Thiel created. There's nothing really wrong with it. I mean, it's all about, let me finish where I was at, because this apocalypse ball, there's nothing, this is just young people, basically, that get together and they talk about things that they don't feel like they can talk about in the public. And it's stuff that, like, they think, oh, everybody will judge them. And it's like, no, I don't think anybody will judge that you want to talk about there being more than one gender, but then look at how that's carried out into our world. And you may think that's good, but all of that stuff has caused more harm. It's gone on to cause harm to children that had genitals mutilated, or because either through being on cross-sex hormones too long, or literally going under the knife. And all of that happened because you young people, there's nothing wrong with you talking about these things, but you need to learn that you do not have wisdom yet, and no university can teach it to you. And unfortunately, most of your professors don't have it either, because they identify with their letters after their name, and they think that that's what makes them oh so smart, but then they're like on the far left, and they don't even have insight into themselves to see how much hate they have. So big problems, a lot of problems there. But my point here is that young people need to be taught that no matter how high your IQ is, no matter how many letters you have after your name, if you're some genius and get into college, it doesn't matter, because wisdom you cannot be taught. I mean, there's common sense, but then there's wisdom. To me, wisdom goes much further than common sense. Is just the basic common sense. That's why Trump has talked about it. We need a common sense revolution, because had tech had common sense, then they wouldn't have been reckless. Had science had common sense, they wouldn't have been reckless. They wouldn't have been doing gain-of-function research. These are people that lack wisdom. Okay, so it doesn't matter how high your IQ is. When you lack wisdom, you're stupid. And you should at least, I mean, I don't want to say you're stupid, but you would be way smarter if you could recognize, yeah, my high IQ will become very helpful once I gain wisdom. And it only comes with time. I believe the ultimate wisdom comes from knowing God, because then you know yourself. And with as brilliant as I think Peter Thiel is, he doesn't know himself. Which, that's what's sad. He does not know himself. Most of these tech people don't know themselves. Because in order to truly look at oneself, it takes God guiding you to do it. Because otherwise we're not going to, because we don't want to look at the ugly stuff. It's no fun. Because we all have ugly stuff. So the only way to do that is truly with God. With the belief in God that you can face those things. Face the darkest of darkness about yourself. That can only be done with God. So although I'm not bashing this little group they have, I think what really is lacking is that is telling young people your IQ, it means you're more brilliant than everybody else. It's like, no, you're too young yet. Your IQ, it may end up being what hurts humanity. That's what has happened, what tech's done. You can say no, but it's helped here and here and here. Yeah, but it's literally taken the world into a police state. So that would have never happened if tech. This is the reason Peter Thiel and these people get the young ones. They fill their heads with, you're the smartest, you have the highest IQ. Yeah, but they have no wisdom yet, which is why they're all reckless. And then that spills over onto the rest of us. And we have to suffer those effects, all because those young people are not told that you're not smart just because you have a high IQ. You can say that's a gift that will help me be better at, doing things, but it could be what ends up hurting a lot of people if I don't recognize that until I have wisdom, I will forever stay a child in my frontal lobe with having no impulse control. Okay? Just wanted to get that out. So they place everything on IQ. But these are also just discussions they're having, but it seems they've all agreed on the IQ thing. Then they had talked, and here's the reason I'm going to say that the IQ is part of the problem too, or not having wisdom, I should say, is because it goes on to say here the evolution. I was talking about the transgender, the debates they had at this event. They're just, arguing back and forth for their sides about stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's good in a way. It's just that I think this is why young people often think they have all the answers, and everybody when they're young they think that, but the problem is you don't have wisdom yet. So it says here, the gene editor argued that technology may be able to change gametes in the future, and there has been a uterus transplant that resulted in a female with XY chromosomes giving birth. This case involved an intersex woman born with XY chromosomes and androgen insensitivity. Interestingly, this gene editor also brought up the issue of body dysmorphia and the importance of being able to transform one's own body. So that's the other problem you guys have. So, but this again is a God thing. Like, I get everybody, has issues with their body, but this society puts so much importance on this that this is why God didn't, when God said, do not attach to the flesh, that everybody thinks, it just meant, not to be sexually immoral. No, he was saying it for more reasons than that. Because you get so obsessed with the way that you look, like to a point where it's like the transhumanists that don't want to die. I mean, I think wisdom is actually, most people are okay with dying one day. Like, if you're that afraid to die, you have not gained wisdom. Because you shouldn't, people that believe in God are not afraid to die. They may be afraid of how they're going to die. But ultimately, they have a knowledge you young people don't have. So interestingly, this gene editor also brought up the issue of body dysmorphia and the importance of being able to transform one's own body. I think the important thing would have been for people to realize that instead of just, my child is 10 years old and they want to wear boys' clothes, so I'm going to go take them to the surgeon and have them get a sex change or get on hormones. It's more like we need to put limits back in place. The people that remove freedom is not about removing every limit. Freedom is about being able to have wisdom and responsibility in one's actions. And when you just decide to hell with everything, because every generation does this, it doesn't matter if it's now or it's in the hippies days, what you do is you're just operating in the frontal lobe, which makes you just irresponsible with your high IQ. Then it goes on to say here, discussions continuing in the elevator revolved around the issues that transgender changes are mainly cosmetic and that any technological advances that enable males to become pregnant, and they all agree that no, males can't become pregnant. Yeah, well, the media can, even some science trying to say, no, yes, they can. They're birthing people. That's how out of control it got. Chest feeders. No, it wasn't women that are breast. No, chest feeders. What is interesting about these debates is that the sides put forth their best arguments and neither side was canceled or silenced. Yeah, that's great. As has happened so many times in academia. Okay, well, just because you're at these, big universities that have the over Ivy League, but they're really, many of them are racist. They were all for that DEI shit, which is literally racist. Peter Thiel himself, which many of the young people look up to him, said that when you see DEI, you should just think Chinese Communist Party because it's no different than Karl Marx and the Communist Manifesto, kind of stuff. So, yeah, of course your universities aren't going to want you to talk about it because, well, you don't have people on the campuses, not many anyway, professors that have wisdom. Again, many of them marched with Hamas. That was just not a good look and showed no wisdom.